Nityaji, I want to come to you and I want to understand from you. There's an interesting concept in the book that sort of discusses, and it's about what's obscene at a public place. Um, there's a line that the law draws between a public and a private place, what's acceptable and what's not acceptable, and how can any question today be devoid of the social media space and the world that we are living in. But how do you see the law and how has it evolved? Do you think the entire concept of public versus the private space, with so much of social media glare and the access to each other private lives, those lines have blurred? Has law taken really, cognizance of that?
Saurabh's own discussion shows that something which is viewed as a private space because people had to pay and belong to a certain class to access it in one judgment. The same nature of place was treated as a public space in another judgment. So the context determines many of these things. The question is important, what do you call a place when it comes to social media? Because it's no longer a physical space. The difficulty for regulation always comes when you have technology which is several steps ahead of regulation. And the proliferation of information, images, discussion, and the reach is so immense that you're both driven to wanting to regulate it and realizing that the regulation will always be inadequate. Which brings us back to the question that both the notion, one thing only is static, that is the elusiveness of the term obscenity and of space.